And political analyst Frank Torres is joining us now this morning with more on these races. And Frank, we're going to start with the governor's race because the polls have really been neck and neck. And I think it's interesting when you throw Adrian Wiley in the mix, it really shakes things up a little bit.
You know, this governor's race has lived up to this billing. It's going to be one of the most nationally watched races in the country here this evening, centering right here on Florida. And you're right, Adrian Wiley has sort of been the X factor in this race. People are wondering, who does he sap votes for him? Does he sap votes from Chris and in the left-leaning position on the social issues, or does he sap votes from Scott's in the right-leaning positions on the fiscal issue? So he's been a really interesting dynamic in this race. He's building a following. I don't think his following has matured quite yet to where he'll be competitive.
You know, we've said this all along, and every time we've talked, Frank, it goes back to voter turnout. And my question is, whose people are the most motivated? Because a lot of voter apathy, so somebody's got to have their troops rallied. Who do you think it is? Because that's going to be the winner.
You know, right now, as far as enthusiasm, that has to favor Governor Rick Scott. Republicans tend to do better during the midterms, but the voters are out there for Charlie Crist. He's been barnstorming the state, trying to get his people to the polls, pleading with them, just get in line. They can't kick you out once you get in line, and a very urgent message to get them to the polls. So the pool of voters is there for Charlie Crist to win. It's just a matter of whether he can get them to the polls to overcome the typical advantage Republicans have during midterms.
All right, let's tackle Amendment 2 because this has been an issue that was polling in the summer at astronomical numbers and has really fallen significantly off since then. What is your prediction here? It has to have 60% to pass. Is that right?
Yes, it needs to have 60% to pass. And what a story Amendment 2 has been. You know, both campaigns have been running very aggressively. The opposition to this campaign deserves credit because, as you mentioned earlier, this was polling near 90% earlier this year. The opposition came out. The No on 2 people called this the Drug Dealer Protection Act, and what I think has been one of the most effective messages of this campaign. You know, I predict it's going to stop just short of the 60%. Some people have it down to 51. I'll give it a little bit more, around 57, 58. I don't think it'll pass, and wow, it will be a story on how much this thing has fallen over previous months.
All right, Frank Torres, we're going to miss you. We're going to see you in, what, 2 years?
I'll be around.
We get to know like families coming over for Thanksgiving.
I'm just a phone call away.
We get to see him every 2 years, and then we're buddies again. Frank,
always great working with you guys.
We'll probably see you tomorrow morning. How about
sir.
that? All right, Frank.